My girlfriend casually said that the vacation plans I had made for us would now be spent with someone from her office instead. I didn't argue. I just said, "That's your decision." After that, I quietly waited for her to leave. Once she was gone, I packed my belongings and walked away from that place for good. But when the two of them reached the airport, an unexpected surprise was waiting for them, one they never saw coming. Soon after, my girlfriend called me in tears and said, "Do you know what just happened at the airport?" I replied calmly, "What happened?" "I'm a civil engineer. I design bridges, commercial buildings, the kind of structures people drive past every day without thinking twice. It pays well. I work long hours. I don't complain. I've always believed that if you do good work, life treats you fairly." I was wrong. Her name was Adriana. We'd been together for 3 years. Met her at a friend's wedding back in June 2021. She worked in marketing for a tech startup downtown. Smart, confident, the kind of woman who could walk into a room and own it without even trying. She had this laugh that could light up a whole restaurant. I thought I was the luckiest guy alive. For a long time, I genuinely believed that. We moved in together about a year and a half into the relationship. Nothing fancy, a 2-bedroom apartment in a decent part of town, close to both our jobs. We split the rent 50-50. Split the bills. Split the groceries. It felt equal. It felt right. It felt like we were building something real together. I started planning a future with her. I even looked at rings a few times, scrolling through jewelry websites late at night when she was asleep next to me. But something always made me wait. I told myself it was timing. Now I know it was instinct. It was a Thursday evening in late September when everything shifted. September 21st, to be exact. I remember because it was my dad's birthday, and I'd called him that morning. I'd been planning this vacation for months. 2 weeks in Costa Rica. Beachfront bungalow in Manuel Antonio. Surfing lessons, zip-lining through the Monteverde cloud forest, a day trip to Arenal volcano. The whole romantic package. I'd saved up for it, cutting back on everything, putting in overtime whenever I could. Paid for both our flights, the accommodations, all the activities. Everything. I wanted it to be special. I wanted to propose on the last night, overlooking the Pacific Ocean at sunset. I'd already picked out the ring. A simple platinum band with a small diamond. Nothing flashy, but elegant. Timeless. Like I thought we were. I came home that evening around 6:30 p.m. She was sitting on the couch, scrolling through her phone, a half-empty glass of white wine on the coffee table. The TV was on but muted. She barely looked up when I walked in. "Hey," I said, dropping my work bag by the door. "How was work?" "Fine," she said, still looking at her phone. I went to the kitchen, grabbed a beer, and sat down next to her. I was exhausted. Long day dealing with a contractor who couldn't read blueprints to save his life. I just wanted to relax. "So," I said, cracking open the beer. 3 more weeks until Costa Rica. You excited?" She didn't answer right away. Just kept scrolling. Then she set her phone down, took a sip of wine, and looked at me with this expression I'd never seen before. Detached. Cold. "About that," she said. "I'm still going. Just not with you." I blinked. "What?" "I'm going with Brendan. From the office." The words hung in the air. I sat there for a second, trying to process. Brendan. I knew the name. She'd mentioned him maybe a dozen times over the past few months. Some guy from her marketing team. Mid-20s. Always posting gym selfies on Instagram. "You're joking," I said. "I'm not. Adriana, I paid for that trip. For us. I've been planning it for half a year." She shrugged. "I know. And I appreciate it, I really do. But Brendan and I have gotten close lately, and honestly, I think we need to see where this goes. You've been distant. Distracted. I don't feel like you're present anymore. You're always working, always tired. I need someone who's actually there, you know?" I just stared at her. Distant? I'd been working 60-hour weeks trying to save money for a trip I thought would be the beginning of the rest of our lives. "So you're just leaving me for this guy?" "I'm not leaving you," she said, like she was explaining basic math to a child. "I'm exploring my options. You can still come on the trip if you want. I'm sure Brendan wouldn't mind. He's actually pretty cool about stuff like that." That's when something inside me went quiet. Not angry. Not sad. Just done. "That's your decision," I said. She looked surprised, like she'd expected me to fight. To beg. "That's it?" she asked. "What's there to talk about? You've made your choice. I respect that." She stared at me for a moment. Then she picked up her phone again. "Okay then. I'm staying at Brendan's tonight. I'll come back tomorrow to grab some things. Sure, I said. She stood up, grabbed her purse, slipped on her shoes, and walked out. Didn't kiss me goodbye. Didn't even look back. Update 1. The moment the door closed, I sat there in the silence. The TV was still on. I could hear the refrigerator humming. A car alarm going off somewhere outside. Normal sounds. But everything felt different. I sat there for maybe 5 minutes. Then I finished my beer and started packing. I didn't pack her stuff. I packed mine. I moved methodically. Clothes from the closet. Toiletries from the bathroom. My laptop and chargers. Important documents. Birth certificate, passport, tax returns. Family photos. The coffee maker my mom gave me. My good knife set. Everything that was mine and only mine. I called my buddy Aaron around 8 p.m. He's a freelance photographer, works odd hours, always available when you need him. Hey man, what's up? He answered. Can I crash at your place for a bit? Yeah, of course. Everything okay? Not really. I'll explain when I get there. I packed 2 large suitcases and 4 boxes. Loaded it all into my truck. Left my key on the kitchen counter. I didn't leave a note. I got to Aaron's place around 11:30 p.m. He helped me carry everything up, poured us both whiskey, and I told him everything. He listened without interrupting. So what's your play? He finally asked. I'm done, I said. Completely done. Good, he said. She doesn't deserve you, man. I called the landlord first thing Friday morning. His name was Mr. Chun. I explained the situation, that I was moving out, that I wanted my name off the lease. He was cool about it. Sorry it didn't work out, he said. You were always good about paying on time. But here's the thing. I wasn't done. When I booked that trip, I used my credit card. Both plane tickets, the bungalow, the rental car, all the activities, everything was on my card, under my name. I kept all the booking confirmations in my email. At 1:47 a.m. Friday morning, sitting in Aaron's guest room with my laptop and that glass of whiskey, I logged into the airline website and canceled Adriana's ticket. Got a full refund minus a $50 cancellation fee. Worth every penny. Then I called the bungalow. A very pleasant woman named Carmen answered. Hello, this is Carmen with Paradise Beach Rentals. How can I help you? I explained the situation carefully. Told her there had been a change in my travel plans, that my former girlfriend would not be accompanying me, and that I needed to ensure only I was authorized to check in. I understand completely, senor, Carmen said. I will make a note in our system. Only you will be permitted to access the bungalow. If anyone else arrives claiming to be your guest, we will turn them away. I am very sorry for your situation. Thank you, Carmen. I really appreciate your help. Then I canceled my own ticket too. Got most of my money back. I wasn't going either. The whole thing was tainted. But Adriana didn't need to know that. I blocked her number. Blocked her on everything. Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat, LinkedIn. I wanted a clean break. Update 2. 2 weeks went by. I heard nothing from her. I assumed she'd moved on, was having a great time planning her little vacation with Brendan. I threw myself into work. Took on extra projects. Volunteered for the jobs nobody else wanted. Stayed late reviewing structural calculations. Started going to the gym at 5 a.m., lifting heavy, running until my lungs screamed. I needed to keep moving, keep my mind occupied. Aaron was a good friend during all this. He didn't pry. Just let me exist in his space, made sure I ate actual meals, dragged me out for drinks a couple times. We'd sit at this dive bar called the Rusty Nail near his place, play pool, not talk about Adriana. It helped. I started looking at apartments closer to work. Found a small studio in a newer building. Signed a lease. Moved my stuff in. Clean slate. No memories attached to the walls. Then, 3 days before the trip was scheduled, October 11th, I got a call from an unknown number. I almost didn't answer, but something made me pick up. Hello. Hey, sweetheart, a familiar voice said. Helen, Adriana's mom. I'd always liked Helen. She was kind, straightforward, practical. Didn't tolerate nonsense. Worked as a nurse for 35 years. Hi, Helen, I said. I wanted to check in on you, she said. Adriana told me what happened. I'm so sorry, honey. Thanks. I appreciate that. She also told me something else, Helen continued. She said you two are still going on the trip together, just taking some space to figure things out. Is that true? I paused. She told you that? Yes. Yesterday. Said you'd agreed to still go, that you both needed the time away to reconnect. I laughed. Couldn't help it. Helen, I'm not going on that trip. And neither is she. Silence. What do you mean? I explained everything. The ticket cancellation. The bungalow instructions. How I'd walked away from the apartment, taken my name off the lease, blocked her, moved out without a word. Helen sighed heavily. Oh, honey. She has no idea, does she? Nope. Are you going to tell her? I figure she'll find out at the airport. Helen was quiet for a long moment. I don't blame you, she finally said. I raised her better than this. I'm so sorry she put you through this. You deserved better. It's not your fault, Helen. But thank you for saying that. We talked for a few more minutes. She told me to take care of myself. I promised I would. When we hung up, I felt lighter. Like someone outside the situation had validated what I already knew. I wasn't crazy. I wasn't overreacting. I was just done being disrespected. The day of the trip arrived. October 14th. Their flight was scheduled for 7:15 a.m. I woke up at 5:30, made coffee in my new studio apartment, and sat by the window watching the sunrise. I imagine them at the airport right now, probably running late, the way Adriana always did. Brendan probably annoyed about it. At 8:47 a.m., my phone started buzzing. A blocked number. Then another. Then another. 6 calls in 10 minutes. I ignored them all. Then, at 9:03 a.m., I got a call from Helen. I answered. She's losing her mind, Helen said. She's been calling me nonstop for the past 20 minutes. Absolutely hysterical. Apparently Brendan's ticket was canceled. The bungalow won't let them check in, and she's stranded at the airport with him, and he's furious with her. Huh, I said, taking a sip of coffee. That's unfortunate. She wants your number. She wants to talk to you. I'm sure she does. Are you going to unblock her? I thought about it. Yeah, I will. But on my terms. Helen sighed. You're a better man than most. Take care of yourself. I unblocked Adriana's number. Within 10 seconds, my phone rang. I let it ring 4 times. Then I answered. Do you know what just happened at the airport? She sobbed. Her voice was shaking, raw. I leaned back in my chair, completely calm. What happened? Update 3. She was hysterical, barely coherent. Between sobs, she explained that when they got to the check-in counter at 6:45 a.m., Brendan's ticket didn't exist. The agent told him there was no reservation under his name. Adriana tried to explain that it was my booking, that he was supposed to be on it. The agent kept saying there was only one ticket originally issued, and it was canceled 2 weeks ago, she cried. They said they couldn't help us. Brendan started yelling at them, at me, asking why I didn't check the reservations before we got there. He made such a scene. Security almost got involved. I said. That sounds stressful. We called the bungalow, she continued. We thought maybe we could just book new flights and still go. But they said the reservation was canceled, and they had explicit instructions not to let anyone but you check in. They said your name specifically. What did you do? I canceled your ticket, I said simply. And mine. I'm not going. And neither are you. Why would you do that? She screamed. I told everyone at work. Brendan took 2 weeks off. We have plans. You made plans with a trip I paid for, I said. A trip I planned for us. You decided to replace me like I was a piece of furniture you got tired of. So I decided to take my trip back. Simple. That's insane. You can't just. I can. I did. The tickets were in my name. The reservation was in my name. It was my money. My credit card. My months of planning. You don't get to steal my vacation and act like I'm supposed to just accept it. She went silent. I could hear Brendan in the background. Is he serious? This is insane. You told me this was handled. Where are you? She finally asked, her voice small. Somewhere you're not. Are you at the apartment? Nope. Moved out 2 weeks ago. Took my name off the lease. You're on your own for the full rent now. Good luck. You moved out. I told you. You made your decision. I made mine. She started crying again, but this time it was panic. Real panic. I can't afford that place on my own. The rent is $2,100 a month. I don't have enough saved up. I can't. Where am I supposed to go? Not my problem anymore, Adriana. Please, she begged. Can we just talk? I made a mistake. I see that now. Brendan's not. He's not what I thought. Can we please just sit down and talk? No. Please. You don't get to do this, I said, my voice firm. You don't get to discard me, humiliate me, try to take a trip I paid for with another guy, and then come crawling back when it blows up. I'm not your backup plan. I'm not your safety net. I'm done. I love you, she whispered. No, you don't. You love the idea of not being alone. You love the stability I provided. There's a difference. That's not fair. Fair. I interrupted. You want to talk about fair? I worked my ass off for 6 months to plan and save for that trip. I was going to propose to you on that trip. I had a ring picked out. And you just casually told me you were taking my vacation with some gym bro from your office. So don't talk to me about fair. She went completely silent. You were going to propose? She finally whispered. Yeah, I was. But now I'm just grateful I didn't. I hung up, blocked her number again, blocked Brendan too. Then I sat there in my new apartment, and I felt peace. Real peace. Final update. It's been 4 months since that phone call. December turned into January, and life moved forward. Adriana tried reaching out a few more times through mutual friends. Sarah texted me saying Adriana was really struggling. I politely declined. Kevin called saying I should at least hear her out. I told him my decision was final. Eventually, they stopped asking. I heard through Aaron that Adriana and Brendan lasted about 2 more weeks after the airport incident. Turns out he wasn't interested in something serious. She had to move out of the apartment by November. Couldn't afford $2,100 a month on her own. Last I heard, she's living with 2 roommates somewhere across town, taking the train to work. Helen and I still talk occasionally. She sends me Christmas cards. Checks in every now and then. We got coffee once in November. She apologized again for her daughter's behavior. I told her she didn't need to keep apologizing for someone else's choices. She's a good woman. As for me, I took that refund money, about $4,200, and put it toward a down payment on a small house about 30 minutes outside the city. 2 bedrooms, a garage, a backyard where I can grill on weekends. It needs some work, but it's mine. No one else's name on the deed. I started dating again in late November. Met a woman named Kira at a coffee shop near my new place. She's a veterinarian, works with rescue animals. We've been on 6 dates. Nothing serious yet. We're taking it slow. She knows what happened with Adriana and was understanding. Said she'd been through something similar. We're taking our time. Work's been good. Got promoted in December to senior engineer. More responsibility, better pay, leading a team on a major commercial project. My boss said I'd been showing up differently, more focused, more driven. I didn't tell him why. I think about that night sometimes. The night she told me she was taking my vacation with another man. The night I packed my stuff and walked away. The night I decided I was worth more than being someone's fallback. I don't regret it. Not for a second. People ask me if I'm angry, if I'm bitter. Honestly, I'm not. I'm just relieved. Relieved that I saw the truth before I married her. Before we had kids. Before I wasted more years on someone who didn't value me. Sometimes the trash takes itself out. You just have to let it. Edit 1. A few people asked if I ever got a real apology from her. Short answer, no. She sent a long email about a month later, blaming me for not communicating enough and giving up too easily. She said I abandoned her and that I was cruel for not warning her about the canceled tickets. Not once did she actually apologize for what she did. I didn't respond. I just deleted it. Some people will never see their own role in the destruction they cause. Edit 2. Brendan apparently got fired from the company about 3 weeks after the trip was supposed to happen. Something about inappropriate workplace behavior and complaints from multiple coworkers. Don't know the details. Don't care. Karma's a funny thing. Edit 3. Someone at work asked if I ever ended up using those Costa Rica plans. Not yet, but I'm thinking about it. Maybe this summer. Maybe solo. Maybe with Kira if things keep going well. We'll see. The beautiful thing about being free is that now it's entirely my choice.